Hello everyone, welcome to PythonWeb's YouTube channel. In today's video, we will see how to remove the sequential duplicate elements from the given list. So I had taken one input list here. So if we have removed the sequential duplicate elements, what should be the expected output? We will see here. So since A and then the second element is also A, so this has occurred for twice. So we will make it only single entry. And then we found a new entry which is B. So then we will keep this B as it is, and then we find A as a new element after B, so that we will consider. And then we have a new element C, but later the last element is also a C, but we have already taken this C into this list, so this should be the expected output in this problem. So right now I had taken one input list here, and to solve this we can use the range function, or else enumerate function also we can make use of. So right now I'll name one function name as remove sequential duplicates. So this is what I name it, and then I'll be passing one input list to this function, and then I will initiate one output list here saying output equals to an empty list, and then as I mentioned we can go with the enumerate function. So for now I will just do how the enumerate will work it here. For index comma element in enumerate of enumerate of this list whatever we got from the input. So then I will just print what are these actual index and the elements here. So let me save this for now, and then I will show you what is happening here. So instead of so I'll just do one thing. I'll pass this input list to this function as an argument, and then I'll save this, and we will check the output. So when we use the enumerate function here, and if we print index as well as the element, we will see this kind of indexes for all the elements. So A is existed for twice, 0 comma 1 indexes, and B is existed at index number 2, and 3 is existed at 3. So we can observe one thing, that if it is a first index, then we have to keep it as it is, and in the next index if we have the same element, we should ignore that, and whenever we find a new element, then only we should consider it for the output. That is what our main logic here. So we will do one thing, we will just write some conditions here. So for now I'll remove this print statement here, and then I will just write if the index equals to the 0, then we have to consider, like we have to append this element into this output list, append the element. Also we have another condition saying that whenever the previous element and the new element we are getting it from this input, this looping time, that shouldn't be equal. So if it is not equal, then we can say that it's not a duplicated element. So for that I will just write this element shouldn't equals to the this index, we are starting it from the 0, right? So anyhow we need to keep the 0 here, and the previous index, how do we get the current index minus 1 will gives us the previous element here. So list of the input list of index minus 1, I will check whether the previous element is not equals to the current element, then I will append into the output list, and then at the end I will just return this output list here. And finally if we wanted to see the output, I'll just write a print statement here so that we could see. Let me save it and run it here. So we got the expected output here, A, B and AC. So we have removed the sequential duplicate elements in this input list. So let me explain what is happening here. When we take this input list and pass it as an argument to this remove sequential duplicate function, so this will, all these items will be passing to this list as an input. So we got this as an input, and then we have anyhow initiated one variable, that means output list, just to hold the return results in this output variable, and then we are using the enumerate. So enumerate will keep track of the indexes for all the elements, and the index will start from the 0, and we can even start our index even from the 1 also, like we can just give it as 1, and accordingly we can change our logic here. So let me revert this for now. So we will just see how this current logic is working at the moment. So when we start looping over this input list, so we have index as well as the element for the first iteration. So as an index we got 0 as our first loop, and then element would be a here, and if it is index 0, then we will directly append that into this input list. So then what will happen, this input list will hold the first element a, and for the second iteration index will be 1 and element would be again a only. So it will check this if condition whether this index equals to 0 or not. No, it is not, it is equals to 1, and we are using this or condition here. So any one of the condition gets success, then it will come inside this if condition, and then it will make the changes. The first half is being false, but we need to check the second half also. So this is the first half result which is returning false, and the second half what are we doing, the element, the current element is a is not equals to input list of index minus 1. So what do we do here, list of index minus 1. So what are we getting, 1 minus 1, which is nothing but 0. So input list of 0, what do we have at this index in the input list, we have element a. So that is nothing but the previous element which is a, whether this a is not equals to the current element a or not. So this is what they are trying to check, but these two things are equal. But instead we are checking, instead of this equal sign we are using the not equal. So this is how it is being failed here. So false or false will become it will result it as a false only. So then it will skip for the next iteration. So index 2 we have element b, we got element as b, and it will check whether index equal to 0 or not. No, it is not. So the first half will be false, and it will check for the second half, the current element is b, and which is not equals to the list of index minus 1. So the list of the current index is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. So then we are taking the element at list of index 1. Index 1, what do we have, element a. So whether b is not equals to a is true or false, if we check it, these are not equal, so which is returning us true. False or true, this will results as true. So then what is happening, it will come inside this if condition, and it will add that element. At the moment element is b, right? So that b only gets appended to this output list. Same way it will check for all the other elements. So at the end we will have a and then c. So this is how you can check it for all other elements also. Then at the end we are returning this output list using this return statement, and we are printing the result using this print function. So that is how we can remove the duplicates in a sequential order. How to remove the sequential duplicates, we can use this code and remove it. That's all guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Kindly like, share and subscribe to PythoVibes YouTube channel. Thank you guys, thanks for watching.